Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary, episode 74. We're broadcasting you worldwide live from our home base on the moon. And, hey, check out these flowers. Golden seed dropped here. Get some golden flowers intermixed with the blue flowers. These blue flowers are found, all over Liurnia, and I think near wizard towers, too. Maybe something to do with that glintstone or star magic. Here's something interesting. Watch this. Check out that Amanora. Look. He's loading in. Recent news is it has been confirmed and announced by Namco Bandai that A24 will be producing an Elden Ring movie. The director, I think, is Alex Garland, who directed, and he also will be writing it. He has done movies such as Ex Machina, Annihilation, and Civil War. I haven't seen any of those movies, so I'm planning on watching them and seeing what they're about. My one friend, a very good friend of mine, hey, Steak America for this combat encounter, but we're not going up there yet. My good friend, he told me to watch those 3 movies, and he said that they're really good. So, yeah, something to look forward to. Oh, hey, there's a graveyard in the Academy town. I didn't know that. Totally Sunrealm, then. I think this graveyard kind of confirms Sunrealm activity. Do I have anything with Holy Blade on it? No, so let's turn this into holy water pots, because we're probably going to need them. Yeah, this graveyard being here... tells us Sunrealm. Easy peasy. Can we see any... I haven't really looked at these headstones. But I think we already deduced that this region was heavily Sunrealm influenced because of its proximity to Stormvale Castle. It's got the high road. What else do we have going on here? Actually, how do I make... Oh, okay, I can make a ton of these. We have 10. Excellent. High road activity. The spire... And I don't know if the spires are it. I'm trying to think of what was my reasoning. Oh, sweet, a chest. I don't remember. Gosh, the last time I explored this place. I wanted to talk about, the canonity of extra material and movies, and it kind of falls in line with how George R. Martin sees it. At least that's where my influence, for my opinion on it is. Stone Sword Key. So very exciting. Someone had to put a key in a chest for later. Anything over here? So he was generally asked in interviews frequently about what is canon between the show Game of Thrones and his books, A Song of Ice and Fire. Game of Thrones and the like and House of the Dragon are based off of A Song of Ice and Fire. So how does that affect, what's canon? And he usually, he would usually ask in return, how many children does Scarlett O'Hara have? I think, and she's from Gone with the Wind. In the movie, she has 1 child. In the books, I think she has 3 children. But in real life, she doesn't have any, because she's not real. She's a fictional character. It's all made up. He goes on to say things like, oh, boy, if they have the holy water effect on them... He goes on to say that there's essentially 2 separate canons, the show canon and the book canon, and that is also informed by his use of the butterfly effect frequently. You'll see butterfly motifs all over Elden Ring, and to me that's most likely his doing. And the importance of the butterfly effect, at least for his writing, is he says, small changes lead to big changes, lead to bigger changes. The idea comes from chaos theory and also from, I don't remember the book that it's from, but like it's like a time traveler or something goes back in time, or and they step on like a butterfly in the Jurassic, and it like changes the whole course of human history from that point forward. In chaos theory, what's the music coming from? In chaos theory, it is the Deathrite bird. All right, well, we'll talk about this in a second. So this is our first Deathrite bird. Never seen that attack before. A lot of ghostflame. I don't know if we have confirmation that it's ghostflame, just based on the color. His wings have people in it. You can see the people, and they have staves. They look like the branch talismans. Oh, and his scream does death blight. There we go. I knew one of their screams did death blight. Yeah. Okay. So there's the death birds and the death rite birds. So this is like the really religious one. Right, but he can't handle holy water pots. Wow. Oh, geez. Okay, so Death Blight is firmly older than Deathroot. I think we could say. Thanks to the Deathbirds, who have ancient, part of the ancient rituals. Oh, what's that move? Yeah, there we go. And he's summoning vengeful spirits from his wings. And you can see the people up there with the hook swords. Really cool stuff. The people still in the body. So we have a difference between the Death Birds and the Death Rite Birds. Ancient Death Rancor. So a rite is a religious ceremony. So a rite is a religious or other solemn ceremony or act. So this is the death ceremony birds. So there was the death birds, and that's the death ceremony birds. Don't worry, we'll continue our butterfly talk in a moment. He dropped the ancient death rancor. Let's compare that to... So we could firmly say, after getting a death bird here, our second death bird, totally Sunrealm, totally old place, with a bunch of the ancient rituals. We remember the branch sword. It looked like the guys in the wings were holding branch swords. Part of the ancient death rituals. Now, we have two different types. Blue and red, tying to our cerulean and crimson, like these daggers. The heart sings when one draws close to death, and thus does one cling so tenaciously to life, to render up a death worth offering. So we're offering our death to the birds. The heart sings when one draws close to death, and a glorious end awaits those who cling so tenaciously to life. So these are people who don't want to die. They don't want to die. But their life is being offered. Their life is being offered. Or I guess their death is worth being offered. They want to live so badly. And that's great. Good for you. That's going to make your death even better when we offer you to the bird. And if we look at our sacrificial axe, hatchet used in an ancient sacrificial rite, a death bird is depicted as a malevolent deity. The power of the rite yet lingers. A small amount of FP is restored upon slaying a foe. Someone said that it kind of looks like a crescent moon a little bit, coming out of the bird's mouth, like the bird is going to eat someone. I think it's curved because you would hit someone on the nape of the neck and you would decapitate them. That would tie into who is getting decapitated? Well, our Mausoleum Knights, who wear the Deathbird ornamentation, the Wandering Mausoleum. The wing-shaped ornaments on its back evoke the Deathbird, a self-inflicted curse that ties the spirits of these loyal knights to the land, having willingly beheaded themselves so that they may serve their masters in death. So these guys, I'm getting Sunrealm too. So it's an ancient cultural practice that comes from ancient times and goes up into the modern day, where people were beheaded and they didn't want to be, but that made their death worth offering. And what did we get? Oh yeah, I wanted to compare first before we looked at. So this is a sorcery that requires intelligence and faith. First, the Rancor Call. This was found in the bottom of Stormvale Castle. Sorcery of the Servants of Death. Death, capitalized death. This causes a centipede curse mark sign. That's the symbol for death, same as this one. This one has kind of raven wings. Summons vengeful spirits that chase down foes. Once thought lost, the ancient death hex was rediscovered by the necromancer Garrus. Okay, so these are so old that they're lost sorceries. They're lost knowledge, but they've been rediscovered. This one summons a horde of vengeful spirits. They are cinders of the ancient death hex, raked from the fires of ghostflame by the deathbirds. Cinders of an ancient death hex. You know, that makes me think of... Oh, we can upgrade our flasks, so let's do it. Goodbye, golden seeds. That makes me think of Lords of Cinder, the bonfires, Dark Souls. The bonfires are made from burning undead. Ancient death hex, raked from the fires of ghostflame. Oh, and you know what's interesting? Here, we'll put this up. Let's just swap out you for a second. 34 intelligence, so we won't be able to cast that. So we see the death sign, and then we get the white and black, but it has a skull on the front. It reminds me of humanity sprites. You know? It reminds me of humanity sprites. The white and the black. You know, the main difference, though, is the skulls. Like, that's the... But if you took away the skulls, that would just be humanity. So, you know, if we think, is this a shared universe? Could it be a similar process? Could be. Could be that's what it is. Could be that. Or it could just be something unique that's inspired from that process. You know, it doesn't have to be... it doesn't have to be the same thing. They are cinders of an ancient death hex raked from the fires of ghosts. So there's two different offerings that we're getting. Oh, we also have Rancor Pot. In times of old, the dead were burned with ghost flame, and from those cinders arose the vengeful spirits. This is Grey Violet, human bone shards. It's a death hex. So it's like an evil spell. It's bad luck. It's an omen. So how do we build this? So I guess if we think about it... Oh wait, what is this grace called? Gate Town North. If we think about... So I'm just trying to wrap my head around how we could build this. Which way do we want to go, left or right? We'll go around that way. Why? There's the beheadings with the axe, and then there's the burning bodies. Oh, there's a jellyfish. Tell us there's something over there. And then there's the burning of the bodies. You burn the bodies, and then the spirits become the spirits of the burned bodies become vengeful. They become vengeful spirits. This guy has no idea what's up. He has no idea what's coming for him. Damage over time. Look at that. They don't know. Oh, wait, what am I saying? Sorry, I'm getting lost in my sauce. Lost in the sauce here. Oh my goodness, these guys are annoying. Okay. So they have the beheadings, which people who want to stay alive, they're getting beheaded. Grey Violet, they're tied to it too. So since they dropped Grey Violet in the Rancor pots, definitely Sunrealm people as well. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place right now. And we're going to get back to the butterflies, I swear. The Deathbirds, I guess it's just like you have two types of offerings. You get the burn and ghostflame. Why do you have to burn them in ghostflame? And why are they raking them from the cinders? I guess, is that part of the offering too? They are cinders of ancient death hex raked from the fires of the ghostflame by deathbirds. So the dead are being burned in ghostflame. And then the deathbirds come around and they take the souls. Oh, that's what they're doing. It's this. This is it. It's got feathers. Oh, okay. I think this is it. Sacred Scythe resembling a pair of white wings deals holy damage. According to pagan belief, white-winged maidens are said to be death's gentle envoys. Unique skill, angel wings. Jump in and imbue the wing, armored with light. Then deliver a slashing attack on the enemy. The white wings impede recovery and actions using flasks here. So light, what do you think about light? What do you think about light? You watched How to Mimic a God. You know what light means. Angel wings. Oh, in the pagan beliefs. Oh wait, actually we could see. We didn't expect this last time. There's people. Oh, it's hooded women. And men. Oh, bearded men. Ooh. Bearded men on the bottom. Just like the ancient dynasty. See? And then at the top, a hooded woman. Right? Or is it a hooded man? Probably a hooded woman, because that's the angel wings. Maybe America? Oh, two halves. Okay, awesome. So this is what I'm thinking. If you get your decapitated, if you're offering up your life, you cling to life so tenaciously, and you're offering up your death after the decapitation, you become like a headless knight. Your soul becomes like bound by duty because of that. If you're burned in ghost flame, your soul becomes a vengeful spirit. You're pissed that you got turned into ghost flame. But the deathbirds come along, and in pagan beliefs, they thought they were like angels. And they're going to take your soul into the afterlife. But instead, it looks like it's not really the afterlife. It's like, maybe it is the afterlife. But, you know, nighttime comes and they can get a little hasty. All right, we got some red jellyfish here. So we have angry spirits. Why are they angry? They're going to attack us immediately for seeing us? But there's an arterial leaf, too. Okay. Why is there's an arterial leaf? Oh, they're all getting mad. Oh, no. And they have poison. That's not doing a lot of damage. What about Karian Greatsword? Okay, that's I think that's what we're going with. The Deathbirds to the pagans, to perhaps Sunrealm pagan worship, like, you know, instead of there being one true god being Marika, I think that's the current like religion right now. It's Marika. There was multiple gods. Yeah, we have the Fell God of Rot. Oh, multiple arterial leaves. Fell God of Rot. Not Fell God. We got the Fell God of Flame. 3 arterial leaves. Fell God of Flame. And we have the God of Rot. Is there a God of Death? And if there is a God of Death, you know, probably part of that old religion. Okay, so I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Yeah, it takes a bit. You know, we got to get the wheels turning. We got to You know, we're theorizing on the fly. We're going to get to the butterflies, I swear. You know what? Before I talk about the arterial leaves, let me talk about the butterfly effect. George R. R. Martin writes in Butterfly Effects where he needs his story to be perfect consistently through one simple change. And he got really annoyed with House of the Dragon because they removed a few things, and that ruined the butterfly effect. So essentially, changing one small thing it changes the entirety of the canon, essentially, because you need... I guess we have to go up there. Because you need all those little things together for it to make sense. And the reason why they need to make sense, and they all need to fit together perfectly for his stories, is because of time-traveling Bran. That's why the butterfly effect is so important to him, because he needs his time traveler to make sense. There can't be any paradoxes. There can't be a gap in the story. It has to be perfect. So with an Elden Ring movie, we're going to take what we will from it. But I'm just hoping it's going to be fun. I'm not going to look for, like, canon things from it, you know? We might get insights, but I don't expect it to really change too many opinions. And, hey, maybe in the end it'll prove me right for something. I think there's a candelabra somewhere over here. Anyway, the arterial leaves. Okay. So I was all over the place. Talked about the movie. I said it's going to be directed by someone who's probably good. Got to watch those movies. It's going to have a different canon than the video game. You can't replace the source material. They're just different. Then we talked about the butterfly effect. Then we talked about death birds and this ancient death rituals. They do decapitation. They do burning and ghostflame. All Sunrealm stuff. Wraith Collars drop Grey Violet. Grey Violet needs to make Rancor Pots. They're definitely Sunrealm. That means Royal Revenants are also Sunrealm. They're Revenant. They're Royal Wrathful Ghosts of the Sunrealm. And in their beliefs, they were supposed to be angels. So I think that all makes sense. We could probably develop that into a more... if we were going to do... if I want to do a Sunrealm video in the future... But that requires, like, a lot of work and imagination. There's a lot of stuff to do the Sunrealm, where people just say it's ancient stuff, and we would have to really tie it together. But that might be a project we all work on together. I might request assistance from mimic commentators. And then we came up here, 3 arterial leaves and a bunch of spirits. Some were red spirits. Some were vengeful, like half and half. It was Metaphor. Oh God, I just meta. Whatever. Sorry. Said arterial leaves they think represent Radigan because of the dark red of the leaf, and I'm willing to think Radigan too. What does Radigan have to do with vengeful spirits? Oh, perhaps it has to do with we were deducing yesterday. Oh, sorry, not yesterday for me, but last episode for you all. That perhaps. Melina is the reborn spirit of Marika. And part of that was like the sacred tears and the flask of crimson tears. Hey, a Trina lily. Oh, if we were to get this Trina lily beforehand, we would just see the spirits and the academy. We don't really see anything here. Oh, but wait, that's where Renala is. So the spirits and Renala. And the Radigan leaves. The arterial leaves. If Radigan leaves, Renala. Radigan leaves! Radigan leaves Renala. Okay. Yeah. All right. And the spirits. We'll have to see what the spirits are up to. What was I saying? I was talking about... Oh, the sacred tears. Yeah. Radigan cries the same sacred tears that Marika does, which is an interesting connection. Oh, and what do we have here? A mausoleum. This is a first one with a bell in a while. And there's a bunch of wandering knights. I think there's supposed to be a candelabra here. Turns out I was in the right spot. Candle tree's over here. There it is. I knew it was over here. I knew there was one over here. So this is interesting too. Okay, so... Gosh, there's so many of them here. This is the most we've seen. Look how many there are. Soldiers and knights. With Eclipse shields, there was one guarding the Black Knife catacombs. You know, that makes me think. Thinking Knight of Black Knives stuff. This makes me think that the Knight of Black Knives is bigger than bigger than originally thought. Like, there is a huge plot. Like, the whole death root thing, getting those who live in death, it's big. It's big. And I think it's since that one knight is guarding the Death Touch catacombs, and there's so many here in Liurnia, and we're already getting such a huge Sunrealm presence. They getting those who live in death, I feel like God, like, what is the connection with Godwin? Well, I guess because he makes the dragon cult. I guess. Oh, all right. Is this a Trina tree? Where's our candle tree taking us? Our prophecy tree. The candle tree tied to our prophecy is taking us somewhere. And while we're doing that, we'll talk Eclipse stuff. If we know, let's see. Godwin the Golden defeated the ancient dragon Fortisax and befriended the dragon, giving rise to the ancient dragon cult in the capital. The ancient dragon had scales of gravelstone and wielded lightning as their weapon. Oh god, okay. So, Godwin defeats the ancient dragons. They attack the capital. They create a cult for the dragons. The ancient dragon worshippers are banished knights, part of the Sunrealm. Part of the Sunrealm has these ancient death hexes that have death birds that they see as angels. Birds kind of closely tied to dragons. What are people saying about this? There's dregs, praise, time for fire. Vision is something incredible. Time for fire and short lit there, high up. What? I don't know what that means. Where are you taking me? Oh, you're taking me to the cave. Oh. Any Trina lilies? Is this gonna be the first one? We gotta see if this is gonna be the first one. No Trina lilies. So the Knight of the Black Knives, we have Sunrealm connection. We have the ancient dragons. The cult is formed. The cult for the ancient dragons. The banished knights are dragon worshippers. They have the ancient dragon sigils on their armor and what have you. Then, well, Godric also, he gets hounded from the capital. He escapes the capital during the Shattering. And he wants the Golden Lineage to come back in force. Golden Lineage, assumedly, has Godwin the Golden, part of the Golden Lineage. But he's invoking dragons, which is older than Erdtree stuff. Raya, Lucaria, Crystal Tunnel. So they're farming crystals in here. So does Godwin get inundated with this cult? And then they say, hey, Godwin, like maybe he's hanging out with these dragons. What do we have to level up? I need to level up intelligence. Hey, Godwin. I know you're part of this whole tree empire. But now that you're a cult for us ancient dragons, you know, you fought us in a war. Look how powerful we are. Look how great we are. What if we do something different? What if we try something else? And, a somber smithing stone behind this altar. Ooh, okay, wait. I'm going all over the place. I have ADHD, so you gotta, you guys watch 70 plus episodes of the Mimic Commentary. You know, we can't, I can't stay on track. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, everybody. Last 2 episodes were really good. This one is like all over the place. Okay. This is the curse of time traveling. Okay, so yeah, we'll have to talk about. We'll put a pin in that too. Okay, we'll put a pin in the Godwin Sunrealm Knight of the Black Knives plot. Oh my God, there's too much there. Too much there. But I think we have some building blocks. Okay, we have building blocks. We're getting a lot of building blocks here before we start looking at this chest and looking at this statue. A lot of building blocks going on. All right, this is a different chest. Different chest, not a Erd Tree chest. This looks like, I would call this an Academy chest, maybe? Just, I don't know, that's the vibe I'm getting, Academy chest. This is a very similar chest to the one that we found in the Lakeside Crystal Cave. And what's in it? Somber smithing stones. Why is a somber smithing stone being offered to this statue? This is the same statue that we found in the Fringe Folks hero's grave with the hands cut off. What was in her hands? I assume this is an older depiction of Marika. Maybe it's her fingers. Maybe she wasn't holding something, but her finger gestures, like what she was showing. Maybe she was showing some numbers, because they look like they're cut at the wrist. Maybe she was holding a candle, a knife, a chalice, but the chalice is already sacred. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. But it's interesting that this is like kind of a church inside of this cave. There's no pews here, but they're definitely like the miners. Like these guys who are forced to mine the crystals and are being crystallificated. Oh my goodness. Oh, whoa. Did you ever see that? Look at that. His eyes are fully crystal. This reminds me, these guys fully becoming crystal. Do we have... No, not the Noxmere helm. The crowns, the Glintstone crowns have Glintstone in them. We have the Crystallians, which are people who are like made of full crystal. Could this be like after a long enough period, will all of the organic matter in their body be turned into crystal? That could be what happens. Oh, since I'm getting cracked crystal, that means I can make a ton of these, right? We're gonna need those when we fight golems. Speaking of Crystallians, you know who's in this dungeon. These guys also, they mine differently too than typical miners. They're using magic to drill into the cracked crystal. They're not trying to, I guess, mine, what do you call it? Smithing stones, essentially. But they're mining Glintstone crystal. So I guess they're looking for... Well, they're looking for both. Oh, a digger. Oh, sweet. Oh, he's casting an Academy spell. Let me look at the digger staff. A staff of a sorcerer miner who extracts glintstone from crystal tunnels. Okay, there we go. The staff itself is a tool used to mine, and the ferrule is also embedded with a glintstone. The ferrule is at the top. It's the hooked part. Boosts the power of stone digger sorcery. So let's look at it. That was my juice. I didn't mean to drink that. Yeah, you can see there's one tiny little crystal. So you hold the staff, and then you use the crystal is essentially what is channeling the magic into the staff. It's channeling that soul magic into the staff, and it's compared to our Carian staff. Look at the size difference between the crystal. Like, isn't that kind of crazy? So we're definitely seeing that between all of these staffs, there is a difference, not just in power level. Like the Demi-Human Queen staff, does that have any... The Demi-Human Queen staff has a little bit of glintstone at the top. See it right there? A little bit of glintstone. The glintstone staff, small glintstone. astrologer staff. This comes from outside the lands between. Might not be glintstone. Could be a false crystal, like a crystal ball. Doesn't look like glintstone. Does it say glintstone? Oh, no, it is glintstone. But it's very different. It's polished. It's very different than the other ones. The Karin Glintblade staff. Yeah, that one's cool. But we're using the Glintstone staff. Karin Glintstone staff. So yeah, it looks like you don't need... To be a miner, you don't got to be that smart. You got to be smart enough to be able to cast sorceries, but not too smart. Oh gosh, I don't want to lose my Great Rune. Oh... Oh, goodness. Oh, no, okay, you can... Okay. Okay, a lot of somber smithing stones down here. Ah! I don't want to lose my Great Rune. How many? I actually have 2 extra rune arcs. Oh, I forgot to mention. Vare gave us those... He gave us those fingers to use, and we might use them only if I die, though. If I lose my rune arc, I might do invasions, because I think doing invasions gives you rune arcs. I don't remember. But to move his quest along, we'll either do the thing that gives you, like, there's an NPC invasion you can do, or you can do, I think, 3 invasions even if you fail. So if I lose a rune arc, I'll do the invasions. All right, there's the spell. And we'll just use this. Yeah, that's better. Let's also give a blessings boon. Man, that guy's really kicking butt. No wonder they gave him a backpack. Wow. Okay, so he must be a really smart guy. I'm not, though. I keep missing. Woo! He almost killed me. Because we're screwing around. Kills him 1 hit, though. I have to level up mine, too. I'm not leveling that up enough. Alright, where were we? Where were we talking about? It's difficult when I go on those tangents. I mean, it's difficult. I go on those tangents about all these different topics, and then something pops up, and I want to talk about that instead. Liurnia is just so jam-packed, and that, it's part of the difficulties of, doing, the writing and the scripting and the theorizing, because there's just so many interconnecting points, and there's so many details, there's so many things to cover, that it becomes, crazy. That's why I did the, Aryan history video, a lecture, because, should we go this way? Or should we keep going down? We'll see what's over here first. The Karian history video I did a year ago as the preceptor, because there was just too much to talk about, and it'd be crazy to edit, and I couldn't. It'd be insane to make it cinematic. Here. Nice. So I made, if you watch that video, it's 3.5 hours long. I made 70 PowerPoint slides of all the different things that I thought were relevant to the Karian history. I started with the Newmans, and we go all the way through the Shattering, and that was pre-DLC, so if I was to do it again, it'd be a little different. It'd be really different. But it might be what I have to do a lore brain dump. There's other stuff I want to talk about before we get there, though. And, it's kind of evergreen, I think. I don't think anyone can... sometimes I get worried that if I'm not fast enough with my theorizing, someone else is going to get to it. Because, it's not... I don't think it's you know, the stuff is mostly in game. You just got to find it. You got to figure it out. Like time traveling Mikola, which this is not mimic commentary. We have no idea Mikola's a time traveler. Oh, hey, look at that. You could see. We'll talk about that in a second. But the time traveling Mikola stuff, I was like, I got to get that out before Night Rain, because if Night Rain has anything to do with that theory, confirming it or giving anyone an idea, I can't have someone get it out before me, because I have been theorizing that for like a while. And the reason I've been theorizing that for a while is because of Song of Ice and Fire. And, you know, I don't know. There have been, I've also seen some people do a Song of Ice and Fire comparisons, but they don't have like the juice that I got. Like, here's a fun one. So a few episodes ago, I was doing Rite card Stannis. Here's a fun one. And I'll reiterate this when we get to Renala too. Maybe I don't want to give it up now. I'll do it when we get to Renala. I'm sorry. Let's talk about this instead. I know, I'm like baiting you guys with some lore tidbits. It's not really a lore tidbit. It's a writer tidbit, like an Easter egg. Hey, let's look down here. We see a Crystallian on top of what looks like a meteorite impact. You can really see that this is a meteorite impact from this angle. I don't know if we already talked about this in our first tunnel. This is only our second. No, this is our third tunnel. Our first tunnel had the Stone Digger Troll. He was most likely, he had the first tunnel. We got the Trolls, the Roar Medallion, Bronze Medallion picking a Roaring Giant. Ancient times, the giants were mortal enemies of the Erd Tree. Their belling roars desolated nature, triggered avalanches, and whipped up storms of flame. And then there was a troll in the mines holding that, so he must be related to the giants in some way, and essentially was turned into a slave to dig out the tunnels. And he began to get kind of like solidified like Glintstone. Then we did the Castle Morn cave, the Morn tunnel, and there was a scaly Misbegon in there. There was a ton of Misbegons in there as well, so they were most likely enslaved to dig out these tunnels, and being amongst the smithing stones causes their body to change. Here we have the Crystallian down here. Now this makes me think, do the Crystallians come from meteorites? Because he's on top of it. The first two, obviously slaves, forced to mine out the tunnel. This guy, though, is just chilling. They got a concord with the Carians, an old ancient oath, and the Carians are, you know, we got some puppets here. Okay, this is definitely Cuckoo. Doing Cuckoo for Coco Pups in here. It's definitely, what was I saying? The Carians are like, you know, they're moon worships, they got their own sorceries and stuff. They do mimic swords and all that nature. Definitely a cultural tie to the Eternals, who have the Black Moon over the Eternal City, Starlight Shards, you know, all that stuff. If the Crystallians come from space, and Glintstone comes from the stars, so, you know, it could be that is where the Concord comes from. These Crystallians who maybe came from space, and yeah. The Carians, most likely... Oh, can you hear? Wow, they're really pondering the orb. Even though they're puppets, they're like... They're in love with the crystal. Hey, let's talk about this for a second. But first, let me get this out of the idea. The Carians, most likely as a royal family, or at least as a culture, since we saw that they had eternal architecture at the Church of Vows, most likely much older than other cultures. You know, they also know esoteric knowledge, like, where's the, like Erd Tree seeds. You know, they have esoteric hidden knowledge because they're probably very old. They have very old culture. They're very secretive. At least I think they're secretive. We'll learn more about their secrets. Did we? I didn't. Okay, good. I didn't wake them up. We didn't get the... No, not yet. I mean, we could even just think the Eternal City has ritual implements to ward off the intervention of the Greater Will on its vassal fingers. And if the Carians are tied to the Sellans, who are part of the Eternal culture, and the Claymen, you know, they have this knowledge that no one else has. They might know about the Crystallians maybe coming from space. They might have interstellar knowledge. Okay, speaking of which, so these are puppets that are brought to life with... Do we have any... They're brought to life with cuckoo glintstones. Lump of broken glintstone and wreath with magic power, a faux sorcery. So this is made from... oh, I can't make them. Oh, I can make them. Crystal bud and cracked crystal. Think about crystal buds. Okay, think about crystal buds. Think about what they look like. They look like the rhymed crystal buds, but I want you to think of another bud. We haven't gotten to it yet, but just think about it. These wooden puppets are brought to life with a piece of glintstone and that crystal bud. They're wooden automatons, yet they can move around. Oh, actually, I think I can, I think the crystal darts might actually affect them too. Let me see. To me, I'm thinking the cuckoos and the academy, these are spirits living inside of these puppets, these marionettes, these dolls. But they might be so rudimentary. Like it might not be a advanced form of sorcery. They look similar to Rena, who we could see a spirit on the other side of the doll body, who also had 4 arms and is kind of constructed similar to this. But we also have the puppet magic that the Carians have, where they can actually take a person's spirit and kind of like, I guess, enslave it or reuse it. But to me, I'm seeing like a soul that is trapped inside this wooden doll, and its cognition, its intelligence is diminished. Yet there's this yearning for these other crystals, these other souls inside. Like it doesn't know. It doesn't, you know, it has a feeling, but it can't describe it. You know, it's like, I know, it's like being trapped inside of it's like being trapped inside of something without having the words or the understanding the feelings. There might not even really be feelings, just maybe a pull. But that's what I'm getting from just looking at these guys, just like pondering their crystal, touching it, rubbing it. All right, do the crystal darts do anything to them? Okay, crystal darts don't do anything to them. I'm assuming because they're made of wood. Uh-oh. There's a guy behind. And why did they give him 4 arms? What do we know about 4 arms? Think about the end. Shadow of the Erdtree. Hey, a crystal knife. Okay, let's look at this. And let's compare it to this. Okay, so this is our Crystallian sword. Fashioned from pure crystal. Indeed impossible for humans. Crystal knife. A knife made from sharpening hard crystal. Signature weapon of Glintstone miners. Used as a tool to extract glintstone from broken rock, and as such, faint magic enwreaths the blade. Yeah, you can just see the difference. This reminds me of, in Game of Thrones, Dragonglass. This is what the obsidian daggers look like. Very rudimentary. As opposed to I'm blanking. Valerian steel, which is believed to have like blood magic incantations that, you know, imbue it with dragon's fire completely and is able to kill White Walkers. That's kind of what the design reminds me of. All right, what's the best way to hit all these guys at once? Lightning stake? Yeah. Take a lot of magic, though. A lot of magic. Oh no! Oh no! Get away! I ran out of juice! Get him, boys! Oh no! Don't get me! If I two-hand, is it gonna bounce off? No, okay. Hell yeah, you give me some Sommers. Give me some of that Mimic Stone. A lot of Mimic Stone in this place. Ooh, Shatter Earth. One of the Glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Raya Lucaria imbues the furl of the caster's staff with magic. So the tip of the staff, it's curled, it has a little glintstone there, then thrust into the ground to create a magical shockwave. Allows one follow-up attack. A Stone Digger sorcery used by Glintstone miners of the Crystal Tunnel. At the Academy, use of the sorcery was a stigma that marked out failed scholars. Uh-oh. So what do we have here? We have a bunch of failed scholars at the Academy. You join the Academy, a place where you wish to learn how to cast sorceries. In some way or another, you were deemed a failure at the Academy. You paid tuition. Maybe you came from the Erd Tree. And, Luther is chasing Kyra around the house. You paid your tuition. And you're like, I'm going to learn so much. I'm going to learn the history. I'm going to learn the source of the soul. I'm going to learn about the stars. I'm going to learn about, how this world works. I'm going to get to the bottom of all this stuff. And then what happens? You get, oh no, you know what? You got a C in Glintstone mathematics. You are now going to be enslaved in the mines. You're not allowed to drop out of the Academy of Raya Lucaria. No, you are an indentured servant for the rest of eternity, mining crystals. So, the Academy, not good. Especially we know about the cuckoos and their rapacious ways. We're gonna summon the Raya Lucarian soldiers on the on our Crystallian over here. All right, let's buff up. What's the best way to? Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, he's got a Beyblade. 2 Beyblades. Get him. What are they throwing at him? Oh, those are Albinoric pots, so he can't heal. Yeah, these guys, they aren't doing too hot against the Crystallian. There we go. Now we get to bully him because his crystal cracked. Is there a logo on his cloak? No, there isn't. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And what we get? Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing. So, the bell bearing of a miner who once dug for smithing stones. The bell bearing of a miner who once dug for smithing stones. The bell bearing of a miner? Kind of looks like his fingerprints on it. Do we have any other? We've gotten bell bearings before. But now, we offer it to the Twin Maiden husks. They can ring their soundless bell. Ding ding. Summon the spirit of this miner. And we can buy the smithing stones and the glintstone scraps that he mined in this tunnel for eternity. We can get infinite ones from his memory and his spirit. Here we have our meteorite that impacted the ground. Our star callers would love this. Our star callers who are in the star caller pose with their arms outstretched that we found in the Weeping Peninsula over here. They would really love this stuff. Maybe Radigan would too, because Radigan's also in that pose at the Church Pilgrimage. All right. This episode was all over the place, wasn't it? What a crazy one. But hey, that's what we're here for. We're here for that. At least you must be here for it. You're watching. That's interesting that the candle tree brought us there. We didn't really get much in the way of, like, St. Trina stuff. There was no Trina lilies. No Trina lilies. Do we have to rethink the candle tree? I don't think we need to, actually. I don't think we need to rethink the candle tree. I'm still seeing St. Trina's influence. Or whoever's influence it could be. Leading us to the tunnel to get a reward. I mean, we got something to bring back to the round table hold to assist us. And we learned a lot. All right. This guy's calling spirits. Next episode, we're going to do this. We're going to go back around and into the academy. At least to the gate. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode. A little all over the place, but you know what? That's what the Mimic Commentary is. You know the drill. Let's do the thing.